Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Susie Say That. Today's topic is it's not two of the same. That is, being married or raising your children on your own is not the same as being married. Vice versa. Raising your children. I hate to use the word single, especially if you had a village of some sort that helped you raise your children or is helping you raise your children, that it's not single. Single means singular, by itself, one. Plural means more than one. So if you have a community, a village helping you raising your children, then you are not single. How could you? And if you have God, you're definitely not single. There's many scriptures that will tell you that God is your husband. God is your helper. He'll do this. He's a father to the fatherless, and etc. and etc. There's many scriptures that you can look up. They'll give you information. They'll let you know that you are not in a singular relationship raising your children. If you have those components, if you have God, if you have your parents or sister, brother, whoever that's helping you raise your children, then you are not single. And the things that people say to excuse however they feel, their weaknesses, whatever it is, it's just not the same. You're messing with words because you can't tell me that a person that is married has the same struggles that a person that's not. No, unless you got somebody that's something's wrong there. Something's wrong there. Okay. If you're having the same struggles that a single person is having, something is definitely wrong there because you shouldn't be having the same, because two is better than one, right? Two can get the job done. One is going to be a struggle for them. If you're one person and you're raising your children, just one person, and you have a community of people for you, you still don't have the spouse that when you get tired or when you need this, that, and other, then that kicks in. Or your significant other, whatever you want to call them. Two is not the same because the reason that two is not the same because it would be identical to each other. If two was the same, it would be identical. They would have the same characteristics, okay? So two of the same is not comparable to a husband and a wife to a person that's managing life and their children right there, okay? It's not two of the same. I heard somebody say, matter of fact, I heard a few people say, it's all the same. I have struggles too. We struggle with this, but you have a helpmate. You have someone that when you get weak, they can kick in. Financially, they can kick in. Physically, they can kick in. When you get whatever, it's not two of the same. And I mean, for you to say that, even if you're thinking that, you're out of order for that because it's not true. And I just want to let you know today that is not true. Single means singular. Okay? Plural means more than one. So if it's more than one of you are not single. If you're single, you're singular. You're by yourself. And I hate to say single, the word single in reference to relationships, because if you're in a relationship with your God, your faith is only going to take you how far you want to go in your belief system. Okay? So if you believe that God is going to take care of you and your children, then God is going to do that. And I'm a witness to it. He's did it all while I was taking care of my children. I mean, we didn't have no man in our household. Their father to my daughter was like 17 years old. And that was too late for that anyhow. Okay? That's another story of some sort, but I'm just telling you. My son was like 10 years old when their dad came into our home. So and at that, when he came in there, I still felt like I was parenting alone. Okay? I had my mother there for support and I had God there for support, but most of the time I was still parenting. So when people say I was single, that's what the world would say, single. But I have a hard time saying it because I had a support system. I was a young mom. So when I left my parents' house, I left there with two children. My parents were there. They were involved. When my children were when they were infants, that's how I was able to go to school and do all the other things. I was able, because I had a support system. So then when I say, oh, I was single, I was doing this all by myself, that wasn't true. I was not single. And God's really dealing with me on words that I say. Because if you're saying you're single, it can take away from what was there, the village that's there. It'll take away from that. And then you'll start feeling, oh, well, nobody was there to help me. Nobody was that. That's a lie. And I won't say that. I won't ever say I would say that, hey, I was a young mom. So I was in the household with my parents. And at times it wasn't good because my father was so disappointed in me about having children He had dreams for me, his daughter. So that's another story of some sort. But I just want to let you know that it's not two of the same when you're talking about a husband and a wife managing their marriage and children. Then you talk about a person that's not married. It's not two of the same. Think about it. It doesn't even make sense for you to take and compare yourself to a married couple if you're single. And I hate to say that word again, single, but if you're doing this by yourself, you know what I mean? If you're doing this by yourself with you and God or your village, or just even by yourself, because there are some people that does it by themselves. They don't have anyone to help them. I get that too. And they haven't given their life totally to Christ because he would ease some of those burdens. But the point is this, I'm talking to you all that believe that it's two of the same. It's not two of the same. Compare it. If you need to go and run to the grocery store, then you can you can tell your husband, keep the kids, I'll be back. Or you can tell your husband, I'm going to the store, or I'm going out the country and I'll be back when I'm going to get me a break. Whatever it is, you have a system there that's right in your home. Now, the other end, the person that doesn't have the system, they got to take those kids with them. I remember when I called my mother, my children were probably about 9 or 10. I called her and I said, hey, Mom, I said, I need to know if you could keep the kids. 9, 10, and my son was, I think, about 2. He was a little toddler. And I said, hey, Mom, can you keep these kids? And I want to go hang out with some friends. Like I say, I was a young mom. And she says, honey, no, I can't tonight because I want to hang out with some people too. So I can't. She said, but I tell you this, they're not going to be children always. It's going to come a time where you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do. They're going to get grown. It's okay. She encouraged me. And I was like, you never want to keep them. She said, honey, I keep them if you need to go to work. But honey, I can't keep them right now. Support system. How can I then say I was singular if my mom said, okay, I'll keep them while you go to work, but one day I can't keep them while you go have fun. But if you got a spouse or you got someone that's really good to you, you'll say, honey, I want to go hang out with my friends. And they said, baby, go ahead. Go ahead. But that singular person, that person like myself, I had a village. I had my mother and I had God, I had my father, but when they were really very small. But think about that. It wasn't the same. I couldn't just pack up and leave my house and just go, hey, Mom, Dad, get these 2 little kids and I'll be back. I didn't have that in my liberty. I didn't have that. My parents said, no, you go to school and you go to the job and that's it. It's over for you. And I don't blame them for that, okay? But I'm just letting you know, for those of you that say it's two of the same, I'd be tired too when I leave my job. But you're not doing this by yourself. And I don't know whether it's to just put a Band-Aid on it and let the person that's doing it not by themselves, but you know what I mean? The person, because some are, but it's just to make them feel better, like, we got some struggles over here too. But it's not two of the same. It is not two of the same because your struggle is not their struggle. They got to depend on one income. If they're not getting child support, that's one income. If they are getting child support, bless those that are getting it. And bless those and I know about child support because I got child support, okay? So I understand about it. It does make a difference when a father is help taking care of his children. My kids were older when I got child support, but the point is that it did take some pressure off. I was able to send my son to a private school because I was getting child support. I was able to send my daughter to a private school because I was getting extra income from certain places, okay? But I couldn't have did that all on my own. Just a single, not single, a mom that's doing it by themselves, supporting their children in their education. She can't afford to unless she's got this great, great job. And education counts. But she's not going to be able to send 2 of her children to private school on just one income. I was able to do that. I was able to send 2 children to private school. When my daughter it wasn't that long. Was it like 3 years, I think it was, or something like that. But my son went from all the way till he was in the 8th grade. And it cost money. And so when I started getting that child support check, it did help. It did take some pressure off of me. Okay? But if you don't need that, if you're living in a household with your spouse, it's not two of the same. You can go out and buy probably a steak. And a mom that's doing this by herself that don't even have a support system, she probably can't buy a steak. Okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying that this is all her fault because I believe it takes 2 to tango, okay? And I believe that a lot of moms, like me, I was just an ignorant young girl and I didn't know, I just was ignorant. I really was. I just didn't know that my life was going to take me to that path and I was going to have children. I didn't know that. Okay. Because if I did, I would have took care of myself. And I like to say I was a silly girl because smart girls and wise girls take care of their bodies. They take care of themselves. And I was a silly girl and I didn't take care of myself. So I ended up with children at a young age. But I can tell you this. It wasn't times where I felt alone. If my children needed medicine, my father bought it. If they needed something, my mother would sacrifice and do it. So I understand all these things. But I'm letting you know, you married folk, you folk that's got somebody in the house, it's not two of the same. It's not the same. It is not identical to you. That mom may have to, or dad may have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and be with a sick child and stuff. You can go and take you a nap. You can say if you got a good husband or a good significant other, they want you to get your rest. They don't want you to be running around here with little bitty infant babies, got PT, that postpartum and all that, and can't stand themselves and can't stand where they at and all that kind of stuff. No, you have someone that can help you. But that mom, she don't have anyone. It's not two of the same. She got to deal with that postpartum. Think about that. She has to deal with that on her. She don't have an outlet. And if she don't have God, she in trouble. I believe that. If she don't have a village, she in trouble. The only reason I didn't have to deal with postpartum when I look over my life as a young girl is because I was still in the household with people. I was still surrounded by my parents. Okay? So I didn't have that postpartum. Think about that. The reason that you didn't have postpartum, you probably had an outlet. And if you didn't, you understand why some people did what they did. Got all these judgments about moms that leave their kids at the hospital and walk off. They probably don't have anyone. So they know how to deal with things is to leave because maybe they were abandoned. And it's not two of the same. Oh, well, you know what? I didn't have nobody there for me either. But now you got a husband that's helping you with your children or a spouse that's helping you, whatever, a spouse, a husband, a significant other, whatever. You have that with you. So you're not parenting alone. That single person or that person that is in a relationship with God and has an outlet, her parents or whatever, cousins, aunts, uncles or whatever. Listen here. My mother wasn't big on babysitting. She just wasn't. And I had a lot of times where I had to just deal with myself. But I was so happy, so glad when my niece turned the age where she could keep my children for me. And she did. I was good to her and she was good to me. And she'll tell you that. That's just what it was. I was so happy that she can come over to my house and I didn't have to, take them nowhere or whatever. And I wouldn't take them to too many people's house anyway because I didn't trust people like that. Okay. So I wasn't dropping my kids off. You can stay here. Can your daughter, son stay? They just can't. Nope. I wasn't that type of parent. But so when my niece got old enough to keep an eye on my children and my niece and my cousin, they would come over. And they would keep an eye on them where I can go hang out with my friends, where I can have a support system outside my children. Because my mother she didn't do that. You went to work or you went to school, yes, she's going to keep your children. Other than that, it was a no for her. So just think about that when you're saying that parenting, because you have a spouse, you have a significant other, it's two of the same with the mom that doesn't have that, with the mom that has God or the mom that has a village or the mom that don't have any of that. Because everybody ain't got God. Everybody don't want God, okay? So you just think about that as you go about your Thursday. Next time you put those words out there, think about that. Say, is this really two of the same? That person don't have anybody. The moms that's divorced, the fathers that's divorced. I'm talking about women right now, but I'm just saying, what about the single mom? What about the mom that don't have anyone? God, nothing. And I'm reiterating that because you need to understand that when you're using those words, it's two of the same. We got the same issues that they got. You may have some of those same issues, but it's not two of the same. You got somebody in the bed with you at night to keep you warm or whatever you want to call it. That mom don't have any of that. So she's got to just deal with things the way that she needs to deal with things. Think about all that. The next time you put that energy out there saying it's two of the same, it ain't. You don't want to be single, do you? Absolutely you don't. You want somebody in the house to help you. Two is better than one. You don't want to be doing this by yourself. So you want to be careful with those words. It's two of the same. We are the same. No, you're not. You are not the same. Some of us are up there on the ladder, some of us at the bottom, some of us climbing up, some of us coming down. It's just the way it is. So it is not two of the same. Okay, think about that as you go about your weekend. And ask yourself, is it really two of the same? It's not. Okay, till the next time.